see. Hello and welcome back to the stream. I am back from Vegas. I lost $20 gambling. Don't gamble, kids and adults out there. No one ever gamble. Don't lose your money. Today I think I've got over 70 linear switches to compare. A variety of lubed ones, pre-lubed, unlubed, stock, everything, silent. And I've got my resident switch expert, Randy, with me once again because I'm a noob. Now remember, everything here is opinion, or mostly opinion, with a slice of fact and maybe some knowledge. We'll be dropping some knowledge along the way. So let's welcome Randy to the screen.
Hello everyone. Hello again.
And you were unmuted this time.
A bunch of money.
From what?
Buying switches.
Oh well, at least you got something in return. I just got that feeling of dread as the dollars were like going away. $1 at a time. It disappears slowly.
Money disappearing in a big lump sum, and then you wait a bunch of months.
And then you get something back. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So we got a ton of linear switches. Let's see. With linear switches, my opinion about them is that they're basically all the same, except some are smoother than others, and some are more rattly, and some make louder sounds. You know, it's easier compared to tactile and compared to clickies. You press on it and you're like, that's great. Or maybe that sucks. Who knows? Well, when I was taking all the pictures of everything, I didn't really click around. You know, I didn't want to ruin it for you people. But I do come with my own biases because I use linear on the reg.
Yeah, you are a linear gang, huh?
I am, but I'm boring linear gang. I pick one switch and I dedicate myself to it for life. I'm good. I don't need anything better. I don't care how thawky it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I like linear switches a lot just because, you know, you notice nuances about the switch materials a lot more. I think just as a critic, you can kind of tell a lot more about the switch when it's a linear type, just because there aren't other things that kind of distract you. You don't have to worry about clicks. You don't have to worry about a tactile bump. It's just how smooth is it? How heavy is it? How does it sound? Now you get to worry about how long is the stem pole, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're gonna have to educate me about materials as we encounter some new ones. Because I don't do any of that. I'm just like, oh, that looks pretty. That feels nice. Yeah. So, what shall we start with? Actually, I know. Let's start with the kale fried egg. Someone forced me to buy this during a stream. And I was like, is that even a real switch? And it turns out it is. And it does look like a fried egg. It's very nice.
Yeah, so these are what? These are like a kale box with they have the new universal symmetrical housing, so that means that they're cherry north facing compatible. They're impervious to north facing interference. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And they have 42 gram actuation and a 60 gram bottom, so similar to reds. Probably most similar to kale box reds.
Let me show them. So this is as good against north-facing switches?
Yeah, north-facing cherry. If you look at the side profile, yeah, like that, you'll see that it's the same shape, like north-facing versus south-facing.
Oh, that's fancy. And then you still have your LED slot to shine RGB through. I like that. I feel like everyone should just start doing this kind of design then. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool that they do that. They featured on a few of their switches, but not all of them. I don't know why they still do the two different designs, but yeah. I'd like to see a click bar made like this.
Ooh, yes. That would be great. Okay, let's hear it outside of the keyboard, and then I will take some keycaps and put it on. Let me mute this. Is this a silent switch?
It might be.
I think it's a silent switch. Ew. That's sort of gross. It's not a bad silent switch. But
It's kind of mushy and
yeah.
yeah.
But it is a silent switch. I didn't know that. Respect for the silent switch. I expected differently, but I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna get a keycap, and then we can put it on the tier list somewhere. I actually wanted to use some fancy keycaps today. I joined this group by last year. Sometime last year, or maybe even 2019. I don't remember.
Nice.
It's a long time in the waiting. Very clean keycap set. I think it was cheap too. Silent, gross, disrespectfully sorry. I'm not a fan of silent switches. I just can't.
Silent switches, but I don't know, not all of them, I guess.
Here we go. The silent switch of prettiness. So it is a brass plate in a polycarbonate case. So it's very rare that you're gonna have this exact configuration going on. Whoa is right. It's sort of loud for a silent switch. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And silent switches are inherently a little bit more scratchy than non-silent switches for some reason.
Kale fried egg. I think we established our criteria last time where like S is above and beyond. A is, pretty good out of the box. B is needs a little loving. C is needs a lot of loving. And then D and F, things go pretty downhill from there. Kale, I'm so biased. Maybe I should think about this in the sense that if I were to like a silent switch, I would put it in C tier. But it's a box switch, so you can't lube it, right?
Minimally, lubing does help minimally, but it won't benefit a box switch nearly as much as it does like a regular switch.
Gotcha.
Because it'll probably, just because the slider portion of it will probably push lube off to one side or the other of the little bump. It's weird, just from the box construction.
Yeah, that is weird. Okay, let's see. So lubing won't help it too much. I would put it in D tier. I think it's good, it's useful, but I can't help it much even with a lot of love. You're going in D tier. That's pretty easy. This is pretty easy. Linears, they're easy. Next. Loud isn't always bad. In this case, it's scratchy. Next, I think we'll do alpacas. Alpacas, right. When I got into the hobby, was sort of a big deal. They were like really cool, always sold out. You could never get your hands on it, and I never got my hands on it until now.
Yeah, alpacas were kind of just like if you want to pay a little bit more than like twice the price, I guess, of Gateron yellows, then you'll get like the standard smoothness, like the tier 1 smoothness switch. JWK, it's like the one that everyone makes the mold off of and all this stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's still a great switch, but it's kind of boring, I think, now at this point.
Oh, I mean, it's been a couple years. I think the one thing that got me like questioning them was that people said that you need to film them. And back when I first learned how to film a switch, I was like, no, just no way will I like get my tweezers, pick up the film, put it in the switch, and then close it, and then it starts crunching, and I'm like, shit, I did something wrong. So not my thing. Needs a lot of love.
Yeah, I think they're really good stock, but yeah, definitely more of a modders or enthusiast type switch. Definitely with a lot of the Durock and JWK ones, a lot of people just lube and film all of them, even if it doesn't need it. It's just because JWKs need lube and film.
Just because they need it. All right, alpacas, I would put, they're boring. but they just need lube and film, and then they're pretty good. Oh, do you know the price for them?
They are, I believe, 50 cents or 55 cents a piece.
That's not bad. That's not bad. What do you consider an expensive linear switch?
Expensive,
Yeah.
like too much to pay. Expensive
Yeah.
linear switch. Telios over $1.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, this isn't bad.
I mean, Everglide Aqua Kings are kind of pushing it, and like Box Silent, what is it? The Gateron Box Inc. V2. I think those are like $850
Oh,
a
yeah,
switch,
those are
or eight
expensive.
850 per 10. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay, let me just find my alpaca because I'm blind. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna put them in C tier since they need lube and film.
yeah, they are pre-lubed very lightly, but yeah,
But the pre-lubing of like the past days is very different than nowadays, where there is a little heavier, more globby, but it's you don't need to lube it again. Okay, alpacas. You get to hear it. Well, the brass plate really accentuates everything. And to think I used to like brass plates. I don't anymore. They're too loud. They make everything loud.
yeah, they are a louder, higher pitched sound, I guess, for a lot of keyboards. I
Mm.
like them still, but only for certain switches, certain combinations. And you gotta fill it with foam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely brings out a certain sound when it comes to switches. Okay, silent alpacas. Pretty similar to alpacas, except they are mushy. Just what you like in a silent switch.
As far as silent linears go, if you are an enthusiast and you want like the best out of your silent switch, Silent Alpaca is probably going to be one of the top tier ones. When you lube it with 205 G0, put some desk keys on it, it's deathly silent.
Well, let's hear. I think this is stock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way better than the fried egg. So this one's the
Oh
fried
yeah.
egg, and then this one's the alpaca. Wow, that's nice. If I was into silent switches, that would be it. I don't like tactile silent, but linear silent, nice.
It has a nice soft feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's soft, it's bouncy, it's a little mushy. So silent alpacas, sort of nice. Put some desk keys, film in it, lube it, and then boom, got yourself the best silent switch. Maybe the best silent switch. I'm putting it all the way up in A.
Nice.
A tier.
A for alpaca.
Yeah, A for alpaca, comma silent.
Yeah.
The silent alpaca. We're making speed here. Let's see, if you had to pick a linear switch that you would use on the reg, which one would it be?
Probably Bolsa Supply Zaku.
Okay, Zaku's look like this.
Yeah, the nice gray housing. They're modeled after the Zaku from Gundam. It's a support mech, I believe.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're long stem pole. So similar to Creams in that they have a nice long stem bottom out when you put them in other housings and stuff. And it has a nice double stage 63.5 gram spring, so it's a snappy return. I think they're pretty fun to type on as linears go.
It's fancy. I like long stem switches a lot. The bottom out sounds, very nice.
I think they're lightly pre-lubed, so I don't think you need to lube them. I didn't notice any spring ping in mine. Pretty good to go stock.
Ooh,
And they're
prelude?
like,
How much do they cost?
These are 55 cents a piece, but they sell out like within a half an hour of getting in stock.
Holy cow. So you'd have to set up Discord notifications and then wake up in the middle of the night?
No, I mean they restock in the daytime. They're uh, based in North America, so you'll get like a reasonable amount of time to get ready for the drop. But once they do drop, you should get as many as you can. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's dangerous. Okay. Zaku's with a long staff. That's nice. It feels very smooth too.
I want to say 50,000 or 100,000 of these sold out in like half an hour.
That's crazy. Maybe I need to get my hands on some of these next time they come back in stock. But I'm a very like, I like what I like and I don't like changing it.
Yeah.
One of those people.
I'm kind of the same way. Even if I test a Switch and I like it, it's hard for me to even justify using it because, yeah.
not worth changing. These photos are so small because we have so many switches. Let me find it again. Okay, I found it. The Zaku is going in S tier then. Especially the pre-lubed. You throw it right into a keyboard and be like, I'm good. I mean, they've got to be super desirable.
They're a pretty nice Switch, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about putting them in my next build.
Ooh. What's your next build?
Owl Lab Spring.
Oh, that's nice. A weird layout.
Yeah.
I looked at it and was like, nope.
Kind of like the Sneakbox Ava, but yeah, it's like a 6.4 kind of version of a Arasu Alice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Owl Labs is fancy. I just saw the position of the right shift and I was like, nah, I can't. No.
That threw me off for so long.
I know. Okay, so that would be what you would put in your daily linear driver. I'm using a daily linear keyboard, and it's got Garon Milky Yellow Pros in them. Very cheap, very affordable. Sounds nice.
Solid Switch.
It's a solid switch. You know, I have the ability to use very many switches, and yeah, I choose those. So they're good. They're good. They look like a Garon Milky Yellow. I mean, not much to say. They look like a yellow with a milky body. And the pros are pre-lubed, which is my favorite part about it. You don't need to do anything. Just plop them in your board. You're good. They're super cheap. I think you can buy 25 for $6 on Divinity.
Yeah, they're priced almost the same as the non-pros, I want to say. Maybe like 1 cent per Switch more.
Yeah, it's like 100% worth.
Yeah, so
super duper worth when you are lazy and don't want to lube.
And I mean,
it's pretty good on the brass plate.
yellows are almost more legendary than alpacas, you know? So.
Yeah, they are. Because the alpacas, they don't lube very well. And the yellows have a nice deeper sound to them. So to me, Garon Milky Yellow Pros are in S tier. They're the best of the best. Can't do anything better than that. Punches way above its weight class, you know?
Pound for pound, strongest contender.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's look at some fancy ones. For a while, I really like the TTC switches. All of them. I think they're amazing. I don't know the differences between them other than like spring weights or something.
For these ones, I think you have an ace, a speed silver, and a gold pink.
Yes, an ace. Let me take them out. A speed silver and a gold pink. Here, gold pink.
Yeah. So the TTC Ace is going to be slow curve linear, 43 gram top and then like a 63 gram bottom. So pretty consistent feeling, pretty comfortable. Could also be described as stiffer than some of the other linears. Speed silver, it's a 45-gram actuation, 55-gram bottom, and it's a speed switch, so you get the actuation right at the top, 1 millimeter.
Ooh,
It's
wow.
also going to be more expensive. It's like 80 cents to 90 cents a piece. And then TTC Gold Pink, it's a super light one. 37 grams actuation, 45-gram bottom, and also pre-lubed. A lot of people like using it stock. It's way too light for me, but yeah, that's very subjective.
Yeah, the thing I like about these is that they sound really loud. I don't know if that's a good thing, but they're like really smooth and loud, and there's like no stem wobble. You just put it in your keyboard and you start pressing around. It feels nice.
Ktt switches do tend to be pre-lubed. The spring bottoms are donut dipped, I think, and the stems can be inconsistent, but the stems are sometimes lubed as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I like them a lot. I didn't know how fast the silver ones actuated. That's amazing. If you're a gamer, consider it.
Yeah, a lot of the recent silver switches have been really impressive. This one and the Acco Speed Silver or the Acco Silver.
The Acco Silvers. Not Gateron Clears.
Gateron Pro, there's actually a Gateron Pro Silver as well, so that one's a good choice as well.
Oh wow, there's so many.
Pre-lubed.
So many pre-lube switches nowadays. I don't even know why I lube things sometimes.
Same.
Okay, let's see. Gold, pink, silver, and then ace. Very smooth. All smooth. I would recommend them all day. Except maybe not the silver, depending on who you are and what you do with it. Dang, I feel like linears are so easy. They just all belong in A and B and S. All of them. They're so good.
By default.
Lubing is for the sense of accomplishment? No. No.
Think of it more of as like a peace of mind kind of thing.
Where you know you did it yourself, so it's like, it's good. Okay, let's see.
Like, I don't want to put a bunch into a board and then like a couple of them ping, and it's like, oh geez, I could have just taken the time and.
Oh, well, it depends if you're soldering or not. If you're not soldering, then it's like, well, just take it out, lube that one switch, put it back in, you're good. Alright, I think all these belong in A tier. The bias is real. They're so hard to see.
The only F tiers we're gonna see are gonna be like silent switches or something.
That's not true. That's not true. There's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of bad ones. Just not these. These are good. Let's see. What's a bad one? Ooh, this isn't a bad one, but Kale sent me their new box V2 switches, and I have the box V2 red here. Let me put it on the screen. It looks a little bit different than the normal one. You know, they've got a darker housing there. And other than, I think it's also pre-lubed. They didn't send me many stats on it, but I gave it a feel and I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, especially if it's going in any like pre-built keyboards. If it's soldered, and you'll get these. These are nice. They're nice for what they are. They look edgy. Yeah, they look sort of emo, sort of cool.
The smoky and the black and red.
Yeah, I like it. They look nice. I think they did a really good job. They sent me their V2 browns, their box browns, box whites, and then box reds. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, box reds and a lot of the box linears, box blacks, box yellows, I think they're pretty solid switches even to be used stock. Sometimes the springs will ping, but they are lightly pre-lubed. They have that dust-proof element, the IP56 rating, you know. So they're good if you have like a lot of dust or a lot of pets or anything like that around. They were made for
pets. I've got a lot of those.
Yeah, and like So I mean, they're pretty solid, but in today's meta, for a lower price, you can get a smoother, pre-lubed, like pretty standard linear. So
Yeah, that's true. If you put it up close to your ear, it doesn't sound as good. But not a bad sound. Could use a little bit of love. But being a kale box, I don't like giving those switches love. They're a pain in the butt to take apart and put back together. It's just, ugh.
Same. I'm kind of the same. It's just kind of use them stock or don't use them at all.
Yeah, exactly.
At most, you can lube the springs if you want to go through the trouble of opening them.
So with all that in mind, I think these are going. Where are these going? These are going in probably C tier. C or D is where I would put them.
Agree. I don't know which one to put them in either, just because yeah.
All right. Well, we'll give them the lower one. Either love them stock or don't do anything to them. Everyone wants Aqua Kings. I'm personally biased against Aqua Kings. I've gone through a lot of Aqua King batches, like 3 or 4 batches, and they are so inconsistent. Whenever you like bottom out, sometimes some switches crunch, some don't, some make that like weird bloop bloop sound. It's like there's too much lube here, obviously.
The overlube, like wet fart poppiness.
Yeah, exactly. A wet fart. That's what it sounds like. So I feel like I have a right to be biased against these. They look super cool. They're pretty. They're pre-lubed. Yeah, I don't know anything other than that, but I personally do not recommend them just because they're so expensive.
Can I ask which spring you got? Or like which spring weight?
Let me look. I always go for the lighter ones. Okay. Whichever the lighter ones are, I do that.
For me, I think that because I usually get the 67-gram ones, or the heavier spring weighted ones, it helps with the return a little bit, so they feel a little bit more consistent and less sluggish than the lighter ones.
Oh, less bloop bloops.
But no, just as many bloop bloops.
Oh, just as many bloop bloops.
Yeah, they're just more consistent on the return.
No, that's not bad. It seems like if you're lucky and you buy these, you'll like them. But if you're not lucky and you buy these, then you may feel like you've been scammed. I've heard everything about them.
I think these sound great. They in your keyboard contest they won, right?
They did. They won $500 Everglides.
Yeah. And they look great. They are definitely expensive. If you get a good batch, I think they're top notch. If you don't get a good batch, it's kind of hell.
Yeah, and they're not something that I would open up, wipe off all the lube, and then try again either. It just is what it is. So here's what that sounds like. Hopefully you don't hear any bloop bloops from this one. Oh, there's still some.
Yeah, you can hear it.
You can hear the bloop bloops. It's just not good. It's not good. I don't like them. They're so... Okay, let me find them. Okay, I think I found them. I don't know if I found them. I'm so blind. They're either this... I'm gonna think that they're this.
Yeah.
Alright, they're going... this is a hard one.
It's weird, right? Because like if you get a good batch, I think
then they're really good. Yeah, they're really good.
If you don't get one, it's got to be like C or D.
I know. It's just
work.
E for bloop. Give some B for bloop bloops. I'll put this in B tier. Then there's obvious caveats about it. If you like the bloop bloops, you can do that. If you don't, then don't do it. Okay, let's do creams. They're popular.
Yeah, so creams kind of similar to the Aqua Kings that we just looked at. They're made of the same material in the housing, the top housing, the bottom housing, and the stem. So it should mean more friction, but the friction is actually, in this case, working in your favor for break-in, because POM is touted as the self-lubricating plastic, right?
Yeah, I mean, I when I first heard that, I thought it was BS. And I've tried lubing them. Like, I'm the person, I put it all into a keyboard, like turn it all upside down, and then just start slamming it against the table, trying to break it in. I decided it wasn't worth my time and was like, I'll just lube these instead.
I think they should be broken in naturally if you're going to break it in. It's not really worth paying for it, but yeah, but
No,
the
you just
break-in
you
is
do it
actually
while
true.
watching TV. You're watching TV and you like just press.
Like, yeah, people put them in the switch testers and put them upside down and just press them all day. But yeah, these are pretty nice. I'd say they sound pretty nice. They're only really popular because of that Tifu video, right? Tifu and Teha.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're made of the POM plastic, the self-lubricating. People say it's a myth, but it's kind of because you're not understanding the basis of self-lubricating plastic. I just had to look this up as well.
Yeah, I
thought
don't even know what that means. What the heck is self-lubricating plastic?
In the case of POM and other self-lubricating plastics, it basically means that it's a solid lubricant that's been engineered into the plastic. And then when you break it in, basically what it means is that on the switch, the stem and the housing, when it slides against each other, they aren't perfectly smooth surfaces. There's going to be like, what are they called? These little protrusions on the surface, they're called asperities on the surface.
What?
They cause stick slip. They cause friction. Like it's kind of like having the teeth on Velcro kind of thing, like rubbing against each other. It's not smooth at all because you have these unsmooth surfaces. So because they're solid lubricants, as they're rubbing against each other, it breaks off particles of lubricant or particles of the solid lubricant onto the surface that you're rubbing it against on, and it smooths it out, kind of polishes it, and distributes that lubricant across it. And so that's what the self-lubricating means.
Science. It sounds like a pretty cool idea. So maybe I was just being ignorant, thinking it was BS. It's real. So how many key presses does it take?
So
is it a long time?
People say minimum break-in is like 10,000 actuations.
That's a lot.
Like, a lot of the 100-year creams or 1,000-year creams or whipped creams or whatever that you want to see, like the pre-broken in ones, they're usually broken into 70,000 or 100,000 actuations. So they're like you're buying used creams.
Yeah. So used creams it cost more than new creams because they've been broken in. It's like vintage.
Yeah, and there's actually a graph I can send you if you want to look at it, but it's basically there's predictable.
Yes,
there's like
I would like
pattern.
to look at it. That sounds awesome.
It's weird. So this is the graph.
Oh gosh, okay.
And it goes regular stick slip, and then like unpredictable kind of intermittent stick slip, and then into smooth sailing, smooth sliding.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of key, science terms here, a lot of F's and
yeah,
thingies.
It's basically how much friction force is the y-axis, and then over time is the x-axis. So the more you press it and the more it's broken in, the less stick slip happens and the more smooth it is.
That's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty cool. I
That
believe
process
it.
is technically called boundary lubrication.
There you go, folks. Science. Self-lubricating switches are real. Just takes a long time to do it.
Yeah, and but yeah, if you don't want to bother with that, then just buy them, take the stems out, and use them for Franken switches, which is what most people do nowadays.
That makes them worth a lot. The more you know. Yep, the more you know. I have a full keyboard. I built my KBD fans like Mahafit with all creams because I really like the way they sound. Indie, stop. So I'm also extremely biased. Yeah, I love the creams. I don't care if people think I'm basic. I like the creams.
So the scratchiness adds character. It's a feature.
Oh no, I lubed them. I'm not doing that break-in phase. I just straight up lubed them. But they're good. I like them. I like them lubed. I don't think I've typed enough on it to naturally lube it. So
they are kind of expensive though if you on the 65 cents to 70 cents per switch side.
Yeah, they are expensive. They're super useful though. You can use them for Franken switches or, you know, just use them. Oh man, it's self-lubricating. You don't need to do anything. I mean, it's sort of above and beyond if you ask me.
Ooh.
I don't know about that. I would put it in S tier.
Valid.
Valid, yep. Okay, creams. Listen to creams. Oh, they just sound so nice. I don't care what you say, they're S tier to me. They're valid, they're valid. Okay, what's the difference between the creams and the box creams?
So basically, it's just that. It's the box version of a cream, but it's a much lighter spring. It's a 55-gram spring bottom out, as opposed to the 75-gram bottom out or 70-gram that's on the regular cream.
Mm-hmm.
It's also long stem, but it's a box switch, so it doesn't really feel the same way. It doesn't really sound the same way. You can't really Franken switch it except with other box switches and probably only other round stem box switches. Yeah.
These don't seem as great as creams. They don't look as great. They don't feel as great.
They have the same thing as the fried egg though, where it's the universal housing.
Yeah.
So that's the draw.
That's a bonus. It's a bonus. They don't look very cool though.
No.
I
mean, they got all different kinds of creams now though, you know.
They do?
Yeah, there's these two. There's cream tactiles. There's the arc creams, which are like progressive creams, and then there's the launch creams, which are all blue. Oh, and then chocolate creams.
Oh, these are. It's getting ridiculous. Too many creams. Okay, these are box creams, and then these are regular creams. I mean, box creams are significantly worse. More rattly, sound way worse. Don't have that deep, nice sounding bottom out. They're not good.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just kind of. Let's make a box version of it, I guess.
Who said that? I think these belong in either D or F. I mean, they have a benefit. You can use them with a cherry profile and north-facing PCBs. Probably D tier. Got some benefits.
I'd say that's the only thing that makes it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it good. Alright, the creams are done. I also have a lot of blacks everywhere.
So if you want, we can try a Duroc palm.
Yes.
Because that's also a palm housing, but it's got a smoother stem.
Duroc palm would be white, sort of a clearish stem with a black housing.
Right.
See, I sort of memorized them all while I was taking pictures. No, it flew.
So yeah, this one it's palm housing, just like the kale cream is, but the stem is a smoother material. It's an whip blend called P3.
P3. What does that mean?
It's just a whip plus some other materials, like basically in a blend to make it more stable when they're making the molds. Whip, the type of plastic, it has a much lower coefficient of friction than like palm or nylon, for example. So against a material like palm, it makes a really smooth stem. But with normal whip, it shrinks. It's really volatile to shrinking and deformation. So usually you need to use a blend if you want to make it like have good tolerances.
That makes sense. A lot of manufacturing problems can come up. Is it pre-lubed or is it stock?
These are stock.
Wow, it feels lubed.
Yeah, that's the beauty of like whip on any like pretty much anything really.
Wow.
It feels polished.
Wow, yeah, it feels extremely smooth. You can't tell, but it does have spring ping.
Right. JWK metal is not the best, but JWK plastic is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Don't need filming or anything. Wow. Probably just needs a little bit of loving in the name of spring
Oh, it
lube.
needs lube.
Yeah, it needs some spring lube. These are loud.
Yeah, it is a long pole stem, so it's kind of like, to me, it's like a slightly deeper sounding cream, but because of the whip, it's also a slightly softer landing.
Ooh, deeper sounding cream. Oh, you're right. It doesn't have the as like intense of a bottom out that you get from creams.
Right.
Which I really like. I like the intense feel. It's a little bit
palm
soft.
is much harder, it's much stiffer, and it's much more like I guess resistant to load forces being put on it, whereas whip is much softer.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's preference from there. So these don't need filming. See, FitLab asks what brands of switches typically need filming and which do not. I know Durox typically do need filming, but I guess not this one, not the Duroc Palm. Like T1s will need them.
Yeah, most JWKs are going to need them, the linears and the tactiles and stuff. These are Duroc Palms are newer molds. So I think that, and plus the palm makes them a little bit more solid, but people are still going to film them just for sound. Just because it's Duroc, people are still going to film them.
Just because they know.
Yeah.
They know. Okay, Duroc Palms. Needs spring lube, and that's about it. They're nice. I will put them in A tier. A tier. Not very loud. Nice.
Oh yeah. JSZA 99. I don't know. Is saying that filming palms caused issues for them. Yeah, it's sometimes that they can cause issues. Like creams, you also probably shouldn't film because they can cause like a misalignment with the stem and the leaf.
Oh. Don't want that.
Yeah, so sometimes it's best not to. If it's too tight, I usually say just skip it. But
Yeah, and then the thickness of the film will affect it too. Like desk keys are real thick. Okay, back to our selection of beautiful keyboards. Or beautiful switches. Let's do this one. This one's pretty. I think this is a Texie porcelain or diamond. One of the two. Don't know which one.
let's see.
Let me pull it
Yeah,
out.
that's a jadeite or diamond. Yeah, they're the same switch. It just has two names.
Oh,
Jadeite
they're
and
the
diamond.
same thing?
Yeah. So that one, funny that you choose that one. That's also an whip stem and an whip top. and so it's pretty smooth. The stem I think might have a little bit more stem wobble because it's pure umwip.
Oh,
Keycaps
pure.
are keycaps are also gonna feel a little gonna fit a little bit looser on it.
Yeah, there's definitely some movement there. It looks very pretty.
Yeah, it's a really nice color. Dual stage, 63.5 gram spring. Pretty fun to use. Yeah, if you like umwip stuff.
How do you know if you like whip stuff?
Just smooth. It's gonna be smooth stock, feel polished, but also it's gonna be soft. So the
Oh,
bottom out
okay.
is gonna be soft, and since it's umwip top, probably a softer bottom, softer top out as well.
Mm. Needs a little love too, but it feels smooth, very smooth. These are hard. The ones where it's in between are very hard to rank because they all sound great. They all feel great. All of the switches we've really looked at feel really good, except for, you know, these down here. Those are not good. Those are not good. Diamond is this one? Was it this one? Oh no, it's this one. Where would you put this?
Diamond, I would give it probably a solid B tier, maybe A tier. B tier just because it's so smooth and it can be used pretty good stock.
Very smooth.
You might have to lube the spring on it. It probably won't react that much to lube on the stem as much as, you know, a different one, just because of how slippery umwip is. Yeah, but just because of the keycap fitment thing, I'm not going to put it any higher than that.
Ooh, all right.
And the stem wobble stuff.
Yeah, the stem wobble's pretty intense. B tier it is. Goodbye. Okay, what's another switch that has gotten a lot of talk lately? These Gateron China Joys, or also known as, yeah, CJs. Very pretty. I feel like they've gotten a lot of hype lately. I've been seeing their name a lot.
Yeah, these were made by Gateron for the China Joy Expo in China. I don't know if they're limited or not, but they are a really clacky kind of ink hybrid. They're an ink top with like a nylon or PC bottom and a palm stem. They're north facing compatible because they got that notch, but they're on the clackier side, not really sounding like a normal ink.
Let me look for the notch. Not sounding like a normal ink. I like inks too, but they're quite heavy.
Yeah, these are a lot more manageable. It's a 50 gram actuation and a 62 gram bottom, closer to like an alpaca.
Okay, let's listen to China Joy. Let me put a keycap on an ink too.
Sorry, these are palm bottom.
So here's the China Joy, and here's the ink. It's clacky. Depends on your taste then. They're smooth though. Are they stock as well? I think they are.
Yeah, I don't believe these are pre-lubed.
So they need a little help. And they're clacky. We don't like clacky here. Well, we sort of do.
Gateron pre-lube also isn't also entirely unlubed. I think there might be some lube on the leaf itself, next to the stem legs, but other than that, it's dry.
China Joy. Where would you go? I would say it's not in A or S.
No.
Probably in Probably B. Probably B. Unless you don't like clacky, then it would go in F tier. But I would put it in B.
Yeah, that's a fair ranking, I think.
It's fair. It's
This is gonna
fair.
be. There's a lot of B tier stuff. I think.
There's a lot of B tier stuff. Okay, what about? These two look really interesting. The Moyu Studio Queens and the OA switches.
Yeah,
They're
so
beautiful.
both of those, but yeah, both they're really great looking switches. That transparent stuff, transparent blue and red, and they got the contrasting stems too. So the Queen is a triple stage 68-gram spring. It's gonna feel super stiff, pretty snappy return. And then the Wuke original aspiration, that's kind of interesting because the bottom uses an umwhip blend similar to Tangi's. So it's sort of like a blue umwhip unlubed, or a blue Tangi that's been unlubed.
Blue Tangies. Alright, let me listen to it. Not a fan. Also not a fan. They feel smooth. Yeah. They just need some help. They're both quite heavy.
Yeah, the OA is 67-gram normal spring, and then the Queen is a 68-gram triple stage, so it's especially stiff.
Yeah, it's super stiff. But they're beautiful. They are beautiful switches.
For me, both of these, I have to admit, I got them basically to put into jars.
As decoration.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you. They look good. Don't blame you at all. So where do you house your Switch collection?
You don't want to know right now. It's in boxes and stuff, like in the Ziploc bags.
Oh, that's what
that
I
they
do.
come in like a box, or like either a plastic box or a cardboard box kind of thing. Yeah, or just kind of like in bags or in a cup, lubed up and stuff.
Just
Like
in a
one
cup.
of those sandwich bags.
That's what I do too. Yeah, sandwich bags are the way to go.
And now there's switches everywhere.
Oh no. Okay, let's listen to the OA and then the Queens. They're quite stiff, super stiff. They're pretty. I don't know if I would put them in a keyboard, but they are pretty.
Yeah.
That means
if I use them, I would definitely spring swap them into something a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
If you like heavy, stiff linears, then it's a good choice.
Does anyone like heavy, stiff linears?
I mean, some people daily drive like 150-gram springs and stuff.
Oh, dang.
Like, what?
That's crazy. I mean, good for them. Finger muscles. Yes. They're pretty. I would put them in... Like, I could use them if I wanted to. I'd put them in C tier. Needs a lot of loving to get them to the point where you would want to use them. Both in C tier. Stiff linears make stabilizers sound nice. Maybe they're good for space bars. Okay. Nothing's in F tier yet. If any of these things were gonna make it in F tier, what do you think it would be? Oh, I know.
Switches.
Gateron clears. They belong in F tier. They're terrible.
Yeah. Not a fan either.
Ultra rattly, super quiet. I mean, they're not quiet, super light, super duper lightweight. You even like not rest your finger and you're like, oh, I accidentally pressed it. Oh no.
You breathe and it's an actuation.
Yeah, they're horribly terrible to use. These belong in an F tier. Instantly. I've been waiting for this moment.
Sweet justice.
I could find it. Yes. Boom. There you go. I feel evil now. Feel good. They don't sound good either. I think a long time ago we have a full build with just Gateron clears. Because I didn't know any better. Actually, Jake tried them on a Switch tester and he really liked them. So he decided to put all them in a whole keyboard. It was a mistake.
It is 2020.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. We know better now. Okay, I'm gonna go to the restroom and drink water. And maybe you can too if you need to. Or you can talk to chat, you know. Keep them entertained.
Yeah, I can talk to chat. It's either way, yeah. What's up, chat? Yeah, where's the Cherry MX Browns, right? That's what I want to know. Currently on S tier, I think are Zaku's, Gateron Pro Milky Yellows. What else? I'm not sure what else is on there. Duroc Shrimps. I think Duroc Shrimps are silent T1s, right? So they're pretty good, strong, big, round tactile bump. If you want a silent tactile, you'll probably need to lube and film it just to get the best results out of it. At least film and lube the spring. Low pro. I don't think we have any low profile switches up today. There aren't very many of them though. It's pretty much just Kale Chalk, like the Keychron low profile ones, right? Gateron low profile. Are Echo red low profile? Do you mean reduced? Do you mean reduced travel?
Did you keep him entertained?
Just answering a few questions. Yeah, if you mean like low, if you mean reduced travel and speed switches, yeah, we just covered silver. Which silver did we cover?
Yeah, TTC.
Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, TTC silver. I guess we can talk about the Acco ones. We have a bunch of Acco ones.
Quite a few, yeah. Like,
Let's see. Let me pick them all out. We have the pink ones. They're not called pink. I think they're called rose red.
yeah. So we should have 6 of them at least.
Okay.
Rose
And
red,
radiant red.
and then
Matcha. And then a bunch of jelly ones.
yeah.
Jelly white. Jelly pink. And a jelly black. I have to look at the housings because they look so similar to. No, that's a J-wig.
Jelly black should be a dust-proof stem with a smoky housing.
Okay, here we go. Got them. Our variety of Acco linears. They're very pretty. There's also a normal white that's not a jelly white. I think it's called vintage white. But I used it in a build, so I do not have it with me. But between the other whites and the jelly whites, they're not the same. They're not the same at all.
The housings in the springs, I think, right?
Yeah, the other whites, they had like kale or the latch style housing, And this has an MX style housing. And I think these sound better.
Yeah, I like the Echo jellies a lot actually.
Yeah.
Jelly black. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these
Um,
were really popular. They're cheap too.
Yeah, they're a great price. They're made by KTT. KTT is like a new Chinese manufacturer, but they're known for making great switches at the price. And so these ones, they're made for Echo, and they're great. Yeah.
So TT's KTT,
KTT.
KTT, they make the jelly ones and not the
Yeah.
not
No,
the
they make
C.
both
They make
actually.
everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, they
cool.
make everything now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
TTC, I guess, only makes the specifically TTC Princess, TTC Echo Princess, and Demon, maybe.
Yeah,
Not
it's
sure what the other one is.
a lot of Switch names.
Yeah. Yeah, but these are pretty much like that. White is the lightest, pink is the middle one, black is the heaviest for the jellies, and then rose red is the lightest for the regular CS. Radiant red is the middle, and matcha green is heaviest.
Oh, they're
But it's
just
not even
weights. Wow. There's barely any difference between them then, other than looks and spring weights.
yeah, the springs, I mean, some of them are progressive springs, some of them are longer springs, but at these weights, you're barely going to be able to tell the difference.
Gotcha. And then the CS ones are cool since you can fit them into like Red Dragon keyboards and stuff. An option that we never had back in the old days, you know, when you had to desolder everything and then put something new in. But nowadays they have these. They're nice. Easy upgrade option.
Yeah, so Echo and KTT switches now then you can use in Otomu sockets, and these ones, the Echo CS and CS Jelly, I believe are also compatible only with Echo Cherry keycaps.
On a north facing board.
Yeah. Like other Cherry ones on north facing, you might still run into interference, but with Echo Cherry, you're safe.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Jay says they actually do sound quite different. So let me put keycaps on all of them and we can take a listen. I even put them in the same row for consistency's sake. Okay, lots of switches to go through. Let's start with Jelly White, Jelly Black, Rose Red, Matcha Green, Radiant Red, and Jelly Pink. They don't sound a whole lot different. I feel like there are subtleties between them. Like the Radiant Red is a little bit deeper and like bolder than the other ones. But very similar nonetheless. So I will rank them all accordingly.
Like at least between the Echo, the 3 Echo CS and the 3 Echo Jellies, they should be sharing molds between those two, you know. So it should be the same feeling. Just if they had the same spring in all 3 of them, they should feel the same.
Yeah, it could be board positioning too. Even though they're on the same row, it's still a tray mount keyboard, so it's not as consistent as I would like it to be. So they are all they're all stock. They need a little bit of help. I personally don't like opening up the CS switches just because of their latch. They're easier to open than Otomu though. I'll give them that. But they're still annoying. Yeah. And then
even with an opener.
I know, it's hard. It's really hard. And then I think I opened up the white ones to lube them. I don't know if this is an accurate saying for all of them, but they had really long springs. And I was like, oh, that's really annoying to work with. So I didn't like that either.
Yeah, so long springs, some of these do have long springs like 18 millimeter. Some of the other ones where we said like double stage or triple stage, those are going to go up to 20 to 22 millimeters.
That's
like almost an inch.
such a long spring. That makes them so hard to align when you're closing them. I would put them all into B tier. I think they're pretty good. For the price especially.
Cost.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You're all going into B tier. Akka will be happy to hear this. Sometimes they send me stuff, but they never follow up. So I never reply. So they don't know if I like their stuff or not, and then it's awkward.
Watch the content.
Be one of these blacks. Which one? They all look the same. Alright, I think I put them on to B tier. No, I'm missing one. This one. There we go. Boom, B tier. These do not make bloop bloops. Only Aqua Kings make bloop bloop. Well, they look pretty good. We're on a roll. Let's see, what's another switch that I would put into F tier? Okay, this one is I feel like it could be a little controversial, depending on what side you pick. And Novelty's dry switches. They're dry reds, yellows, blacks, whatever. I don't think I like them too, but I also don't like them. Like they're very averagey.
For what they are, I like them, but I'm not willing to use them.
Jake's using a full build of NK dry yellows that I lubed, and they sound pretty good. But I would never go through the effort of lubing those ever again.
For me, it's like these basically to me are J-Wicks, the silks and the dries. So the silks, so the dries to me are basically unlubed, somewhat budget J-Wicks or JWK switches. So they're pretty good if you're gonna lube them yourself. Yeah, like apply a more even layer of 205G than what would come on the silks, kind of thing. But at the price that they were offered stock, I don't know, they were like $5 to $6 per 10 from Novelties as is. And then
that's
I think,
nice. I got mine at a mystery switch bundle.
yeah, exactly. But if you're getting them in a mystery switch, I think they're super worth it. They're super good if you get them in a mystery switch.
I got like 110 for, I don't know, $10. Very cheap. That's why I went through the effort of looping them. I was like, these are a steal. So it feels good. It feels good to have a steal. They're nice. All right, let us take a listen. They're nice. I like them, but I also don't like them because I hate lubing nowadays with a passion.
I think the silks do sound pretty nice, to be fair.
Yeah, they do. And from what I've seen, I only have one batch of silk reds, but they're very consistent. But maybe there have been horror stories of them being not consistent. I don't know.
On mine, on my yellows, I've noticed a couple of them might have some spring ping, but it's not that bad.
All right, it's not too bad. I would put them in B tier as well. Everything's gonna go in B tier today. NK, this one. There we go. Okay, let's look at the SP Star Meteor Whites. I bought a whole pack of them recently because someone requested them from like a build thing that I had to do a while back. Are they nice? Let's see. They were the only switch that he wanted to use ever. I think they're these.
Yeah, they're like a light gray housing with a white stem.
A white stem. Okay. Yes, they are these. From the top, they look a lot like the Kinetic Labs Huskies.
Yeah.
Very similar look. Oh, SP Star Meteor Whites.
Yeah, so SP Star Meteor Whites, they're made by, I mean, the brand is from Leopold, the guys that make the great keyboards, the great Topra keyboards and stuff. These ones, I think they're actually manufactured by JWK. The molds look exactly like alpaca molds, but they're made from full nylon. So these ones have been really popular for like a nice, clacky, refined alternative to Hyperglides.
They look a lot like gray creams. I thought they would sound like that, but I don't know if they do. They're very loud. Do they have a long stem?
No, they don't actually.
Oh,
They're
wow.
just a normal stem, but
Wow.
it's yeah, just the nylon.
The nylon is very loud. See, I'll steal this D. So loud. Okay. I don't know what
Yeah,
it's
really,
like a weird rattly scratchy sound. There's something there.
it could be the spring crunching at the bottom.
Oh.
Like mine sound a little bit just like slidey.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I respect other people's opinions and I will lube the switches for the other person accordingly, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, for me they're just way too light. I can't use them because of the spring weight. But yeah, they're on the clackier side.
Yeah, it sounds very crunchy. Crunch, 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 crunch. So if I just replace the spring, will that fix the crunch?
You should, or if you relube it, yeah, give it a more even relube. There could also just be a little bit of too much lube on the pole, so it's creating like a weird suction type of thing when it's going down the stem hole or the central mast.
So it needs a little bit of loving, or a lot of loving. It needs a lot of loving. I'd put that in C tier then. It looks like this. B tier. Yeah, nice. Okay. What about another silent switch? Gazoo Boba Gums. Boba Gums. Such a cute name.
Look really pretty. Yeah, kind of very much like bubblegum, or to me, more reminiscent of like that bubblegum syrup stuff that you took when you had chicken pox, or like
I
Pepto-Bismol
don't
kind of
think I ever got chicken pox. Yeah, it looks a little bit like Pepto.
Yeah.
It's very pretty, very pretty, very silent. I would have to compare them to the other silent switches, but they're very smooth.
Yeah, they're 62-gram bottom out. They come in multiple spring weights if you get them from Gazoo, from like 58 to 67 at least. So you can spring swap them out for whatever you want, but these ones are 62-gram. They're great stock, I think, but they don't perform super well when you lube them.
Oh, why is that?
They get a little sluggish. The silicone plus the lube on the top housing creates kind of like this sticky. It doesn't stick itself, but it just this makes this weird kind of like high pitched squeak sound when you press down on it, and yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know, feel as nice. I guess the key feel really isn't as nice. It kind of makes it a little sluggish if you use 205 grade 0.
Oh, that's
Too much of it.
unfortunate.
Yes, I would mainly just use these stock. Like if you're gonna mod one, go for the silent alpaca, and or any JWK silent switch. And if you're gonna use it stock, go for this one.
Ooh, yeah, it's quiet. It's quiet. Let's compare them next to each other.
The spring and stuff, you can do like the minimal kazoo type lubing or something, but
Is that where you
yeah,
donut dip?
yeah. But I don't know. I would probably I personally would lube the spring however you normally lube. Uh, I usually hand brush them, and then yeah, just that is probably enough.
Ooh, hand brush the springs. That's high effort.
It's the only thing I really ever lube anymore, so it doesn't really take any longer than it did.
That makes sense. Okay, here's a boba gum next to a silent alpaca. They're both nice. I like the silent alpacas better, I would say.
Mhm.
But very similar. Very similar.
You know, when things are all said and done, prefer the I prefer the silent alpacas, but I really like how you don't really have to mess with the boba gums too much to get them to sound good.
Yeah, that's true. You don't need to film them. It's a
Yeah, and
bonus.
the secret nylon material blend that they're using also helps to really mute all the metallic sounds. So
It's a mystery material then.
yeah, the boba material.
So that means they went above and beyond. So these go into S tier.
S tier.
You don't need to do anything. They're silent. Feel good. Nice. I like S tier. Okay, what is next? What about glorious link switches? I have a thing to say about these. I don't know if Glorious would like it. The first time they sent me Glorious link switches, like they send the creator switches, it was great. It was beautiful. Everything was consistent, smooth. And then when I go and buy 3 boxes by myself from their store, they were inconsistent as heck. Some were like crunchy, some were again bloop bloopy. And it was like, what? These are completely different than what I had thought they were. Like, I really liked them. And then now I really dislike them. I'm not sure what they did. Maybe they changed their lubing style or something. Or maybe they handpicked them out to make sure they wouldn't get a bad initial first impression.
Yeah, so I mean, Glorious. After the Panda, I don't know. I guess they're just like, oh, let's come out with a linear switch too, for gaming, of course. So it's like what, just a 60-gram bottom out, normal tactile. I think it's also gonna be Texie made, probably. Texie's making switches for everyone, so
Good for
it's
them.
probably yeah. So it's probably gonna be a pretty solid-ish kind of switch if you get the stock one. I can't attest to the pre-lubed one. I don't know who's doing the lubing, so.
It's not good. It's not good pre-lubing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so nowadays if I recommend anything from Glorious, it's always the dry and then just lube it yourself. It's a bait and switch, maybe. It's not a bad switch. It's just I just had a bad experience, that's all. It's a pretty switch too. Oh, it's a hard one. I would put it in. If you buy the dry and you do it yourself, I put it in B tier. But if you buy the pre-lubed, I'd put it in F tier.
Yeah. Man, that's always disappointing when there's a really bad pre-lubed switch. Like it takes more work to get it to a good point.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Okay, last thing. Ooh, Ktt Switches. The very pretty tropical Hawaiian kind of look.
Yeah, Ktt switches are great. The tolerances are great. The housings are super tight. These ones, you have the wing latch housing, but the strawberry is also a cherry housing. So they have both types of housings now. They feel super smooth. They're all long poles, so they sound really nice.
Ooh,
Uh,
nice.
the strawberry is their premium pre-lubed one, so that's going to be the smoothest one out of the box. And it's going to have polycarbonate, like clear polycarbonate housing. The other ones, I think they're full nylon, I believe, but they sound a little deeper, maybe a little scratchier because of the price point and they're unlubed and everything, but the key feel is very smooth.
And they're pretty.
Yeah, and they're very pretty.
These are the kinds where you buy them in bulk and just put them into containers.
That's where mine are right now.
Nice. They're very pretty. They sound really good.
Yeah, they have like a really deep, low kind of poppy kind of sound because of the long stem and the housing material. When you lube them up, they sound even better.
Ooh, I don't have any Kang whites. No, I don't even. Are those even in stock? There's a lot of acquisition problems when it comes to making Switch videos.
Yeah, Kang Whites have been sold out for a while. I think Dankeeb's only had the one batch. I don't know who else was selling Kang Whites. What you need to know about Kang Whites is that they share the same tool. The mold shares the same tooling as rose, sea salt, lemon, peach, grapefruit, and all these other ones. But the molds themselves are newer. So Kang Whites are going to feel the same as the Ktt Rose or the other ones if they had the same spring weight, but because it's a newer mold, it'll be slightly smoother.
Let's take a listen. It looks like I need to check more stores. See, let me look at their. I think this one is rose, so it'll be rose first, and then peach, I think was the name, and sea salt lemon, and then strawberry. They all sound very similar. But they sound great. I would put these in A tier. Nice sound, nice looks. Maybe you can lube the spring. Definitely, probably could lube the spring. That would help.
Strawberry is the only one in there that's slightly pre-lubed. The rails are pre-lubed, and the springs might be, but my springs were a little inconsistent.
Oh no. You don't want to hear inconsistent.
All you do is open them up. If you only open them up and lube the springs, you'll be perfectly fine. You might not even have to lube them. It was just my batch.
Yeah, nothing's perfect. That we need more F tier. Okay, well, let's do let's do the cherry ones. There's so many cherry ones. We have cherry silent red. I think these are cherry black. Then cherry silvers. And yeah, lots of cherry.
Cherry is cherry.
Cherry is old school.
Yeah. People still really like them for the housings. You know, that nylon cherry sound is still very desirable for a lot of people. For Franken switches especially too. But for these ones, I mean, stock cherries are still going to be super scratchy. There's still going to be a lot of housing wobble, still going to be a lot of stem wobble. Can't use them stock.
No, you absolutely can't use them stock. I don't know why they're in every keyboard still. That's pre-built. I want to put them next to each other. No, I lost one. Okay, cherry
so these silent reds. The silvers, yeah, the silvers they're a little bit lower actuation than the other silvers. It's a 1.2 millimeter actuation. It's a 45 gram actuation, but the bottom is 80 grams.
Oh, it's heavy.
Like, Who makes an 80-gram speed switch? You know,
That's
like
weird. Okay, yeah. My cherry red broke, so I don't have it with me today. But I think everybody here should probably, probably know what a cherry red feels like. It feels like a cherry red. It's what it is.
the lighter cherry black. You know.
I don't understand why my cherry silent red is not silent. What?
That's weird. Silent red, yeah. The 45-gram actuation, 75-gram bottom, also known as cherry pink. Cherry springs are really bad because they're super crunchy and there's a variance of plus or minus 15 grams on the springs. So in a batch, you could have like weird variance in your spring weights.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh no, it is a silent cherry. It just sounds loud.
Yeah, it's very scratchy, very pingy. It's not very silent. As
No,
silence
it's
go.
not silent at all.
I
No,
compare that to a boba gum or silent alpaca. It's not even the same ballpark.
yeah. Oh gosh. Cherry silent red belongs in F tier. Not necessary. Out of all of them, I like silver's the best. So that's a personal thing. But, their housings are useful. You can cannibalize them. I would never use them personally. But since they are a little bit useful, they can go in D tier. Boop.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Probably a D-tier switch.
Yeah, it's not a great switch. Alright. Okay, we've got a lot of like really boring stuff. A lot of Garons, Kales. A lot of Garon yellow. Silver. What is this? Oh, that's a Kale. So Garon yellow, silver, and red
Yeah,
are all the same.
not too much to say about those. One's a little slightly heavier than the other. One's a speed.
And one's
Yeah.
a red. They're very average. There's nothing to say about them. We've got a lot of good options here. Those can just go away.
You can buy the pro versions of these same switches for 1 cent more per switch.
That's
So,
true.
like,
Prelude for the win. All right, these are all going in F tier. They're just no. Don't buy them dry. Don't do this to yourself. Silver. And I think that is it. Oh, here's one. This one's a Kale Box Red. It's a Kale Box Red.
yeah.
Not much to say. It's Kale Box Red. These switches are just really boring. I'm not a huge fan of most of them. You also go into F. They all go into F tier. Now that we've gotten rid of the boring stuff, we can move on to Cap Switch. A Cap Switch.
Gateron cap yellow. It's such a Minions Simpsons yellow color.
Very bright. And it comes in, I don't remember, it comes in two different types. One has
Yeah.
like the gold spring, and then one has the normal spring, and the gold spring costs more.
Right. And the other one is actually a cap milky. So that one comes with a regular spring, I think. This one's the cap golden, comes with a golden spring, but it's not a milky housing.
Yeah, it's more
Both of them
expensive.
are, yeah, by like 10 cents per switch or something. I think cap milkies are around 27 cents a switch, and these ones are around 36 or 40 something cents a switch. the caps.
These are not. I liked them when they first came out. I think nowadays there's better options that you can get, but they're not bad. They're very affordable. I wouldn't recommend the gold spring. I don't know what it does. You can say you're a
Or
baller.
anything. Yeah, the gold. What happens is that eventually the gold plating flakes off.
Oh no, then it's just like glittering gold inside your Switch.
Um, yeah, the cap stem, because it's a different design, instead of like stem going into hole, it's like stem going around pole. So it's a little bit more stable. It can have a farty sound. The V2 I think fixed that. Yeah,
A
keyboard love
farty
them.
sound.
Just like that vacuum suction, like that little pop.
Yeah, when I first got them, I loved them. I was like, ooh, prelude switches. Yeah, win. I use them in everything. They're good. I don't know if they're like A tier good, but they're good. I like them a lot. They don't need
Yeah,
much
fairly
fixing.
solid.
Yeah, they're solid. They put them in there. They're pretty solid. Toss them in A tier. Whoop. Affordable.
Yeah, Gatter and Cat decently deep. Yeah, keyboard mentioned that they sound kind of like inks, maybe a little bit higher pitched than inks, but probably very similar for a lower price point.
Yeah, cheaper inks. Budget inks. Speaking of inks, we also have 8008 inks. Never used these before.
Made to go with GMK 8008, based off the Nike sports bra colorway. It's basically a opaque ink housing with a yellow spring.
Yellow
Like
spring?
a Gateron yellow spring.
Oh, I was like, ooh, a yellow color spring. Let me open that up.
So yeah, it's just it sounds similar to Gateron Ink Black. I forget if it's a little bit deeper or a little bit higher, but very similar. But yeah, more comfortable to type on.
Let me find my ink black and we can try it out. Okay. Ink black's definitely slightly lower, but the lightweight is nice. And these are limited run, right? So you can't just buy them anymore.
Yeah, Omnitype restocked them at one point. I don't know if they're planning another restock alongside the 808 drop whenever that happens in the next few months. Yeah, but they're just inks with a lighter spring. So if you wanted to, you could just take Gateron black ink, stem swap it with a lighter spring, and you get a rough equivalent. Just wouldn't get the color.
Yeah, and the color is it's nice, but it's not as nice as some of these other things we looked at. It's okay. We haven't put inks anywhere yet, but if I had to put inks somewhere, I'd probably put them in either probably B or A.
Yeah, they're pretty solid Switch. And Black Ink V2s, they just got retooled, so they have improved tolerances now.
They're very popular with the crowd. All right, I'll put this one in B because they're limited. Not as good as the stuff you can buy all the time. All right, let's look at our black switches. We have a bunch. Got Gateron box ink box black ink or ink block box black something like that. And then we've also got the J-Wicks, the J-Wick and the Ultimate Black, and and the regular the Black Ink V2. I also have. They're hits. They're all hits.
Black Ink V2 is a kind of also a legendary Switch in its own right.
They are.
Has problematic as the word thocky can be, and like other Switch sound terms can be. Like it's one of the ones that has long been considered like the thocky king or whatever, like one of the
Yeah.
thockiest switches you can make.
The entire time I've been in the hobby, that's all I've heard. Get those. You'll get thocky keyboard. And then you realize they're too heavy, and then you're like, nope, I don't like these after all.
Yeah, I made a build with black inks in a
Same.
GMMK Pro, and it was like after lubing and filming in that board, it was almost more silent than a silent switch.
Oh
I was
wow.
kind of like,
It's super
what is going on?
muted.
Yeah.
That board makes things muted. See,
The J-Wicks. No, go ahead.
Yeah, they're too heavy for me. That's all I'm gonna say. But I like the way they sound. Very thocky. Thocky.
The J-Wicks now, like the Ultimate Black, the one that looks like an ink, they're kind of like that. They're like a cheap version. They're cheap JWK version of ink, of a black ink. It's a comfortable spring, like a 58 to 63.5 gram spring, but it sounds more like an ink top out.
Ooh. Okay, let me put it on the same row. And then we get some more fair sounds.
Yeah, I love the Ultimate Blacks.
What's the difference between the Ultimate Black and the regular J-Wick?
The regular J-Wick full black is a full nylon housing with a palm stem, pre-lubed. So it's gonna be like the budget JWK nylon, or like if you want to put it in like at the cost of sounding facetious, it's like a JWK Hyperglide, but like half the price. So people like that nylon clacky top out sound from it. People like the weighting of it. So that's really the reason to get it. It's a cheap, good linear switch. It's a cheap JWK.
All right, let's listen to it. And then these are the Ultimate Black and the Black Ink V2. Ooh, you can barely tell the difference. Oh, no, you can. You can. You can definitely tell the difference. But for the price, it's a pretty good deal. And it's lighter weight too, so that's a win.
Pre-lubed, sounds great. I don't think it really needs any help. Yeah. Same thing with the other one. The J-Wick nylon housings are actually really tight.
Oh, let me hop a keycap on the box. On the box ink. No, it's this one. Box ink sounds louder in a not good way.
Yeah, box black inks, because they have that reduced travel. I don't know if it's bottoming out on the stem pole or if it's bottoming out on the rails, but yeah, that reduced travel and the bottom out is making it a lot higher pitched, or a lot like a higher pitched clack kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like an extra sound there. So that makes it worse. Okay. I'm not the one that's gonna say that black inks don't belong in S tier, because then I would get hit, and I'm not about that life. So they can go up there. No,
I'll say it.
No, they belong in A tier. They don't. They need help. They need some help.
Yeah.
I don't super duper love them. And then J-Wicks. Ooh, they're how much do those cost again?
So the J-Wick Ultimate Black are going to cost around $330 to $360 per switch, depending on where you buy them from. Like you mostly have to buy them from YMDK on AliExpress right now. And then the normal ones, the J-Wick full nylon blacks, those are like $2.70 or less each one.
Each pack, or like a pack of 10?
Each pack of 10. Yeah, okay. Sorry. So 27 cents each.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. crochet wick. A little clacky. Affordable. I would put it in C. And then I would put the ultimate blacks in B. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. We're gonna speed run some of these things because it's getting late. All right. I'm just gonna put the things that I don't like out there first, and that is this one, Kale Burgundy, Pro Burgundy or something or whatever. It's heavy. It's kale, hard to open up. It needs help, but also, why is it for pros and why is it heavy? That makes no sense. It's going in D tier. It just makes no sense. And then there's another mystery one, but I think it's just Kale Red. And Kale Red belongs with all the other ones down there. And then this one is a Kale Black. We don't need that. Okay, I think the rest we just have really interesting ones. And this was Peach that I was supposed to put. Oh no, I have 2 peaches. No, this isn't peach then. No, it is.
Are you looking
No,
at
it's not. It's a
split?
yeah, it's a banana split. That's what it is. Okay, we can't rank that yet. Okay, the rest are very interesting. So I think we can look at that. Except for NK Silk Olivia here. That belongs where all the other NK things were. And that was B tier. Okay, now these are interesting. Let's do Blue Velvet Linear.
Oh, yeah, Blue Velvet Linear. It's a PME housing, which is I think a palm alternative, and it's a long stem palm stem. So basically, it's a cream alternative from Ktt.
It's got a nice sound. Put it on. Compare it to creams. Put this on the cream too. It's not as good at creams.
Yeah, the stems are a lot more valuable than the housings.
It's got a nice scratch.
It sounds a lot more scratchy than it feels, but that's a weird thing with Ktt PME plastic.
Yeah, the bottom feels weird, and it does sound worse than it feels. Where would this go? What does this cost?
This costs $4.70 per 10, 47 cents each.
Okay, it's not bad. It's not an amazing switch. I'd put it in D. No, yes. D. No, yes. Yes, I would put it in D. The weird one. No. It's a no. It's a why did you do this kind of switch? Okay, next is let's do banana splits. For the longest time, people were always asking me, when are you gonna use banana splits? I personally do not like a lot of the TKC switches, so I'm biased in that regard. But they're smooth. You know, they're smooth. They're sort of clacky. Very clacky. Very loudly clacky.
So yeah, these I'm not really sure what about this blend. I think it's a nylon PC blend or polycarbonate blend for the housings. But the molds are going to be very similar to alpaca molds. They might not be the same exact ones, but like again, if you want to be kind of simple about it, probably a little bit wrong and whatever, but it's basically a snappier, thockier version of an alpaca, or at least louder version of an alpaca.
Definitely louder. Definitely a louder version. All right, banana splits. It's Average.
Yeah, I don't. They're yeah, they're JWK linears. You know.
They are what they are. Okay, where would these go? Oh no! No! My Chrome ran out of memory. No, I think that means. Oh no, they're still here. Oh, I thought I would
Oh
lose
man.
everything. Oh man, that
Oh,
was so stressful. I'm gonna save it. Just save it. I was gonna die for a little bit there.
thank you, Cash.
I just download the image. Oh, that was bad. Bad moment. Bad moment in my life. Close my extra Chrome tabs. Yes, I will do that. Yes. There we go. I feel better now. This computer is barely... Well, I guess it's doing a little too many things, actually. It's doing too many things. Man. What happened? Don't mind me. My desk is just really messy. Download more memory. This PC should have so much memory. I don't know why it's not cooperating. Okay, here we go. We were putting banana splits in its place and the computer decided to just go, nope. I can't let you do that. In its place. Which is C tier. Get out of here. Okay, let's do thick Thok marshmallows. Bought it all the way from Australia, I think. I think it was Australia. Paid a lot for shipping. Did not enjoy it. I also bought the Palm keycaps while I was there.
Oh, cool.
You
Yeah.
know, save some money on shipping, get everything all at once. So they arrived. They look a lot like boba gums, except they're not. They're lighter colored boba gums. They're cute. And
Yeah, very cozy looking colors. Yeah, so the special thing about these basically is the spring. They're a progressive 68 gram spring. That means it's going to feel a little bit bouncier than a normal 68 gram spring. The what feels like speed, I guess the progression to the bottom is going to feel a lot different.
I'm not a Switch Pro.
It's for me at that weight, it's really not that much different, you know, than another 68 gram spring or whatever spring.
It doesn't feel too different.
If you put it up against another 68 gram linear, like say if you put it up against like a Wu-Kei, the Wu-Kei OA, that's a 67 gram spring, it might feel a little bit bouncier, but yeah, it's really not that noticeable in a lot of these progressive springs.
Yeah, it's barely noticeable. Well, that's fun, since it's sort of similar. It's very cute.
Yeah, some people like the sound. Again, it's a JWK linear. I'm not sure which mold it's using, if it's using the same tooling as alpaca. Materials are similar as well. Not sure the exact blends, but yeah. That's the thing. They're not all JWK linears are recolors. Like recolor is a bad term to be using just because, you know, material blends and springs are all different, which changes the key feel and the sound and everything.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're all using similar molds, you know, when you say JWK linear, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. You do. Which means they'll go into they're all starting to blend in my mind. Like we've ranked over 60 switches at this point. I'm just gonna throw in B tier. Yes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, too, it's so subjective, and it's just how does it feel to you at the time, you know?
Yeah, the time of the day.
Mhm.
Okay, I think these are Duroc linears that are next. Perhaps. Are they just Duroc
Ones
linear?
are Duroc linears. Oh, is it just a like a clearer smoky housing with like a
Yeah.
teal stem?
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just Duroc linear.
It's the
Yeah.
62-gram Duroc linear spring.
Mhm. Yeah, it is what it is. It's smooth, plenty smooth, pre-lubed, feels nice.
Yeah.
Just yeah, safe. It's a safe choice.
It is a safe choice, and they have a variety of spring weights, so you get to pick whatever you want out of them. So it's safe. It's safe. It's cheap. Not Gateron Milky Pro Yellow cheap, but pretty cheap. Oh, they're
50
called
cents.
L7s. These
Yeah.
are L7s.
L2, L7, those are all referred to spring weights.
I'm gonna
And
toss them in
yeah.
A tier.
And it's strange too because it's like similar materials and similar mold, or at least the same tooling as alpaca, but it feels and it's so different than alpaca.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you can't say that they're all recolors, because even though they're sharing the same mold, everything makes them so different.
Yeah, they're very different. Okay, I'm putting those into A tier. Pretty safe. Not a bad way to go. What do we... Telios. Not as poppin' as they used to be.
I mean, they were popular because stock smoothness at the time, but now all linears are pretty smooth stock, you know?
Yeah.
They just felt kind of polished, but now you have things like CJ, which is also polished, or Gateron X, which is also polished.
Yeah, everything's nice now, so you don't need to pay big bucks for Zeal switches anymore, except clickies. It seems like everyone's paying a lot for those.
Yeah, and still the Telios, the stock springs are still bad, so you still got to open it up and lube the spring.
Yeah.
So, they're if you don't mind paying $1, they're a pretty great stock switch. If paying $1 sounds like a lot to you, then yeah, don't pay $1 for them because I
Don't
wouldn't either.
ever consider them. Yeah, I wouldn't either. They're nice. They're super overpriced. All you need to do is lube some springs. You're good to go. So as we go, probably in A tier. No, B tier. Put that in B tier. You're gonna lube it, and the fact that these are here next to all these budget ones is just crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that's also a part of the reason why Gateron Black Ink was so popular at the time, like the Ink series, because they were so smooth stock, and they're also made by Gateron, who also makes the Zeal switches. So it's like, oh well, these are budget Zeals, that's what people call them.
Budget Zeals. And
Yeah.
now they're like surpassing Zeal, so good for them. Okay. Blue bubble gums. I used this in a build the other day. They're new. I don't know if the group buy has ended or not.
It was supposed to end on April 2nd, but it has been extended for another 2 weeks.
Oh, that's nice. So you can still buy them.
They're $7 per 10, available at Keeb Hut, Z Frontier, and multiple other proxies. You'll have to check the Keeb Hut site. Ktt Quick, our very own Ktt Quick. He's here in chat, I think. He's the runner of them.
Yes, he is here.
And they are, ends on the 14th.
Yep. It's got a palm stem, ink bottom housing, and a nylon top.
It's essentially an unlubed Oil King, if you want to simplify things like that, since a lot of people are familiar with Oil King.
Ooh, dang. High hopes. Oh, when I first tried them out, I thought they were lubed. And then I learned that they were unlubed. And then I was like, well, you need to buy these because they're pretty great.
Yeah, polished. They're polished stems, I believe.
They're nice. Yeah, if you mistake a stock switch for a pre-lube switch, that's when you know you should go get them. Here, I will link to them. So if you are interested, you can check it out. Using pro molds too.
Right.
What does that mean?
Gateron Pro, so new molds for like KS3 new molds, KS9 new molds.
Oh wow.
So better tolerances, smoother than the stock Gaterons and stuff.
That's nice. Okay, these belong in S tier. Because I thought they were pre-lubed. Boop.
Nice.
Okay, next is Hula Halos. Which look very similar to those, but they're not. Hula Halos?
Oh, Hula Halos.
Hula Halos.
Yeah, based on the Filipino dessert. Yeah, they do look very similar to blue bubblegums. They're essentially, again, unlubed alpacas with a 63.5 gram slow spring.
They're alpacas. They're just slightly different than alpacas.
They're pretty alpacas that you can lube yourself.
Nice. Yep. Anything that sounds like that is it's sort of bland. It's
These
okay.
are the JWK ones, not the KTT ones. These are the original Halo Halo from Dankeebs, and then the KTT ones are multicolored. The KTT ones are basically recolored roses, so they're going to be pretty good for the price.
Alright, let's see. Where did I put my alpacas? In C. Going in C with those. Alright. Lavenders.
Yeah, lavenders again, pretty nice. Another JWK made linear.
Another one of
Very
those.
smooth. I think the lubing on these is really consistent. The pre-lubing on these.
Ooh. Ooh, this is nice.
Yeah, full nylon housing, 65 gram bottom.
Okay, that stands out more to me than what we just looked at. They're pre-lubed, sound pretty dang nice. I would toss this in A. Plus, I've heard good things about them too. Okay, what about the Wuche onions?
Yeah, so these are also from JWK. You notice a pattern here.
They're all JWK switches, I see.
JWK makes switches for everyone. But yeah, these are from Wuke or Wuche in China. They're 63.5 gram bottom. It's strange for JWK because it's a dust-proof stem and a wing latch housing, or like a kale style housing. Yeah, so they should be pretty smooth because they're new molds. They might sound kind of thin or, not that full compared to a normal switch from a different brand because it's JWK plastic plus dust proof.
I put these in a full build before too, and I like the way they feel, but I don't like the way they sound.
I'm not sure if it's the plastic or the housing design or both that's contributing to that, but yeah.
Yeah, which means it can't be helped. Which means it's going into D tier. No, that's the wrong switch. What am I doing? I think this is Zaku.
Is Zaku's,
no, these
Zaku's
are
the grayish one.
kinetic. These are Kinetic Lab Huskies.
The
yeah,
Huskies.
Huskies. I don't think much of them. I know they have a very long spring because I tried lubing them and they were sucked. Very uncomfortable. Other than that, they're linears, yeah. They sound like this. I'm tossing huskies. Ooh, where do we toss the huskies?
Yo, we got raided by Apiary.
Ooh, Apiary, thank you so much for the raid. We're finishing up our switch tier list here with 4 final switches. They're all starting to look like they're the same, melting in my brain with JWK linears. But there's some pretty good options here.
Yeah.
I will save everything and tweet it out later. But it's great. We're doing it. Doing the thing. Hello, Raiders. Okay, the decision now is where to put Kinetic Labs Huskies. I think they're for a specific person. They're not for me. They need a lot of love. I would throw them in B tier. Everything is alpaca. Yeah, everything is alpaca and everything is JWK. That's how I feel right now. 3 more. We have... I don't know which one this is called. I know it has a name.
The left one is going to be Lychee, Dankeb's Texie Lychee. The middle one is Texie Porcelain Blue. And the right one is Texie Sapphire.
Okay. All right. Let's finish it up. We're going to finish it up. The purple switch in S tier is a new switch. It's called Blue Bubblegum. In Group I right now. And then here's the list if you want to do it yourself. All right, let's...
Gator on Blue Bubblegum.
Yep. I'll link to those too. Gator on Blue Bubblegums. Oh yeah, these are just linears. They're all linears. We can't compare clicky and tactile linears all at once. That would be unfair. So Lychee Switches.
Yeah, Lychee Switches are HPE housing, so kind of scratchy housing stock, but the stem is whip, so it's a super smooth stem. The stem is also kind of wobbly and has really bad shrinkage issues. It's like the worst of the Texie whip, I would say. So yeah, they're really wobbly and keycaps are just gonna fall off.
No, that's a worse. You hear the wobble. They're smooth though. Extremely smooth. It's nothing compared to some of the other whip stuff that we've used today though.
And it's the same brand whip as the diamond or jadeite that we saw earlier, you know. So it's like between these two, I think the diamond or jadeite is definitely better.
Yeah, definitely better. Is this going in C tier? I would even put it in D. I would put it in D.
I only use them for display keyboards where the keycaps that I want to use are like super tight fitting and they won't really fit well on other switches.
Just on display, nice. Okay, we have are these KTTK? No, Texie Porcelain Blue. The next one.
Beautiful looking switch. Kind of looks like a Telios, the teal Telios.
Looks like a better Telios.
It's around 50 cents or 55 cents each, depending on the quantity that you buy them from Ringer Keys. Super long stem, super reduced travel. It's like a 3.25 total travel, compared to a 4mm travel. And yeah, they're unlubed. You can feel how the bottom out is. It's really, yeah, it's just there.
It's just there.
Like that was before I was kind of used to a lot of reduced travel, especially severely reduced travel switches. 3.25mm total travel was kind of sudden to me.
Yeah, it sounds like it would just be a shock. They're beautiful. They're not what I would want in a Switch, but beautiful nonetheless.
Definitely a jar switch for me.
Yeah, they can go. It can go where all the other jar switches go in C tier. You go where all the other jar switches go, where you're pretty, and that's it.
It's jar appeal.
Just pretty. And then let's see, we've got Ktt Rubies. But before we do that, people keep asking about tangerines, and I personally, like, I say this a lot, I don't like any of the Ktt Switches, and I don't like tangerines either. They're supposed to be pre-lubed, and they're not. They need a lot of love to get good. That's how I feel about them. But I know a lot of people like them, so, you know, you can hit me or whatever, I don't care.
I think it was definitely timing and marketing that had a big deal to play in the success of these switches. But I mean, pre-lubed, they are really smooth out of the bag. They apparently have whip in the housing. I don't know what degree, because they obviously aren't whip. At least they obviously aren't pure, you know. But they are pretty smooth out of the bag. Mine have been so long that they aren't really that smooth anymore. So yeah, I don't know if the lube just kind of came off of it or what, but yeah, it's not as good as it once was.
Oh, they are great jar switches though. Beautiful jar switches. I would love to put them in jars. And I don't know what happened to my tangerines. I think I put them in another build for some reason. Alright, now we can go on to the last switch. Ktt Rubies. And these are V1s, so I didn't get a chance to get the V2s.
That's cool. The V2 is just an whip stem version. The V1 is a just a long stem. It's the long stem version. Should be a standard palm stem.
And it's slightly on the heavy side, but it's not too bad. The switches are also very pretty. Sort of glittery.
Glittery.
A lot of jar switches around here. Let me take a listen. You get P. Sounds nice. Feels nice. I'll toss it in B tier. And I think that's the whole list. I'm sure that we're only scratching the surface here when it comes to linear switches. There are like a billion more that we don't have, because that would be insane to buy every switch in the world, and then I would never ever make content about it, because I'd just be hoarding and waiting. So this is what we've got here. In S tier, we've got, oh gosh, I've got cat problems now. In S tier, we've got Zacu's, which I think these are Zacu switches. And then, yes. And then we personally got my favorite, to get around Milky Pro yellows, because they're super cheap and the best. And then I think these are novelty creams. They sound great. And they actually self-lubricate. Nice. And if you're into the silent stuff, Yazoo Boba Gums. And then the switch that I thought was pre-lubed but is not, Blue Bubble Gums, which is out in group buy right now, so you can check it out if you want. And yeah, that's S tier. Pretty good stuff. Going above and beyond, making the world better. And then I will save this to not mess up. I will save this. Perfect. All saved and ready to go. Don't mind the ads. There's a lot of ads, and Yes, I've been looking at guitars lately, so let's not talk about that. More ways to spend your money on things that you don't know if you'll use or not. But maybe, probably.
And that with guitars.
Have you?
Yeah,
You bought
in
a...
high school, college, I was really into guitars. I was trying to get like a nice electric guitar. I had a nice electric guitar and acoustic guitar for a while. Tried to learn how to play them. Sucked. I don't know why I even bought them. That was like not even my first time attempting it.
That's
Big
so
mistakes.
funny.
Told them. Yeah.
I've been on and off forever. Like I tried as a kid, I quit. I tried as an adult again, I quit. But this time I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna do it. I've told you all publicly, so I will do it. Where do you get blue bubblegums? They are in group buy right now, right here. They look pretty. They're very beautiful. In fact, I have the page open right now. Look at these pictures. Hot damn. I don't know who took these pictures, but this one is nice. Sleek and in the dark. Switches look nice, yeah. Ah, this was a long time in the making. I think it took us a month to record all of these Switch tier lists.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time in the making. This is the third video. Yeah, it took a week in between.
Yep. So we're done. We're done. Maybe we'll do this again in 3 years when everything has changed.
There's a new meta. I mean, honestly, there's gonna be a new meta in like 6 months probably.
Yeah,
but,
easily. Yeah. Frankenswitch video when? Never. I don't want to Frankenswitch things. I don't want to take switches apart. That's why I rank things the way that I rank. Lavender switches are very nice. I like them. All right. Well, thank you to Randy for being the switch expert that he is, who keeps switches in jars as decoration, as I know you all do. I don't, because I don't have that many switches. Well, I do. It's just they're all in cardboard boxes and sandwich bags. So,
as they should be.
Shame on me for not putting them up for decoration. But I hope you all enjoyed this and got a little something out of something. It's all opinions, all bias, some facts, some information. Does Randy have socials? Randy, please tell me you have socials.
Not really, but yeah, you can follow me on, I guess at Randall Jew if you want. That's my main Instagram account. I haven't really posted anything, but if you want to see stuff, I'll post stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll start with a bunch of Switch stuff if you guys want, but yeah.
Ooh, I'm sure they'll want that. They'll want it.
Randall Jew and at Randy OCN.
They'll want it all. I'm sure they will. On Instagram. And also, he's very active on our Discord server as well, if you are interested in talking to him.
Yeah, that's that's the main social, right? Join the Switch and Click Discord.
Yes. Join the Switch and Click Discord.
And I'm on there a lot, and we're a very active and helpful and kind community, and we're gonna have some cool events.
Yes, we have monthly trivia nowadays, which is very fun. We also have keyboard tournament. And if entries are closing very soon, in fact, Jake and I just have to decide because we need time to decide everything. So keyboard tournament is going on right now. The live event for the tournament will be April 19th. We do have Hipio as a guest judge, and then myself. And yeah, there's prizes. There's keyboard prizes. I've talked to several companies. I think it'll be super cool. The last keyboard tournament, you can see that video on YouTube if you want. The meta has changed. No talky talk. Don't do that. And yeah, it's growing. It's a fun place. We don't gatekeep. We're not elitist. We're very friendly. You'll like it. You'll like it.
Clicky gang, rise up.
You can like your clickies if you want. You can do that. It doesn't matter. So, yes. Let me stop recording. and find somebody to do the Twitch thing too. I'm not used to being on Twitch. I'm a very bad Twitch person, I've realized.
Raid.
Yes, do the raid, not do the host. Do the raid. Who do we have to do the raid? Okay, we've got someone modding EVA switches and an Apollo 80 unboxing. I think that's pretty... That's nice.
80, nice.
How do you do this? Since the Hot Summer Storm channel, it's been a long time since that. So the Hot Summer Storm thing was actually how I started on the internet in the first place, streaming Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm to people. I don't talk about those days very often because I didn't get very popular. And I sucked. So, alright, Dutch Master W is who we are rating today. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed everything. And this will be a video. I will tweet out the final tier list as well as the folder where I label all of the switches. So if you don't know what switch they are, you can check it out. And I will not be streaming RuneScape anytime soon. It's my chill game. Goodbye! And raid this guy because we will make him happy. And it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be fun. You caught the ending. Welcome. Welcome. Hello, Wendy. Alright, we are off.